Hello. In this podcast, we will review the process of using the TI-84 calculator program RESID in order to generate sums of squared residuals for models and also residual plots for those models. And of course, in order for this exercise to be meaningful, we have to have some data in the calculator. And I have previously entered a set of ordered pairs. It doesn't really matter what they are for our purposes today, but they are lifespan in years in L1 and gestation period in days in L2 for a number of various different types of animals. And so if that's an interest of yours, you can take a look at the scatter plot. Here is the graph. And I also have generated the equation of the line of best fit, which I have placed up in Y1. It's important when you use this program that you place your independent variable values, your x's, in list L1 and your dependent values in list L2, and also that you place the model that you're assessing in Y1, because those are the places the calculator will look for these things when it does the work that it does. Once you have those things all set up, you hit the program button, and if you have received the program RESID from your teacher, you should see it there. If not, you need to go and get it. But we'll assume you have had it downloaded, and so you can just scoot down to that and select it, and then hit enter again to make it run. The first thing you'll see is a screen that just reminds you that the data need to be in L1 and L2, and the model needs to be in Y1. And then you press enter to continue, and you are faced with a menu. And the first choice on that menu is the sum of squared residuals. You just press 1, and there it is. Looks like a big number, but it's hard to know how meaningful that is until we know some other things about possible competing models. But anyway, there's the value, and the calculator then pauses in order for you to be able to write it down or do whatever you need to do. Once you're ready to go on, you simply hit enter, and that will return you to the menu. If you want a residual plot, you, of course, hit 2, and it will generate a plot of the residuals against the x's, and it'll appropriately scale the screen. You can then go back to the menu again, and if you want, you can return to a plot of the original data. And the last extremely self-explanatory option, of course, is to quit. There's one feature that people sometimes find a little bit confusing, and I want to draw your attention to this. If the last thing that you've done is to make a residual plot, and if you then quit out of the program, either by going through the menu or by hitting the on button and then choosing the quit option, you may find it a little bit confusing when you go up and look at the stat plot definition, because the program will have changed it to L1 and L3 because L3 is where the residuals reside. So if things look a little odd to you, you just need to go up there and redefine whatever stat plot it is that you wish to take a look at, and of course you can proceed from there. It's also worth noting that if you have an interest in the actual values of the residuals, the calculator places them in L3 in the course of doing its work, so if you wanted to know a particular one, this would be the place that you would go and look for that. That concludes our little tour of the RESID calculator program.